Okay. Doop-a-doop. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Okay. So, we need to find a way across the ocean. The only problem is that we don't have a boat. We have a wagon. So we're going to a small bog dweller outpost at the edge of the sea. This is where the minstrel told us we could find someone to help us make a wagon float somehow. This is the place. Let us go to see my client's companion as soon as you are ready. Hold on. Okay. Big Bertrude's is a sickly gathering of bog dwellers who stay within shadows, yet you can feel their eyes surveying everything. The lone minstrel steps forward. Sandalwood sent us. Those words are enough to make the bog dwellers snap to attention. They emerge from the mud and dark and begin inspecting your black wagon with their strange tools. One of the bog dwellers slithers forth. She is larger than the rest and leaves no doubt that she commands the others. Thou speakest the name Sandalwood. We would know his whereabouts. Reveal them to us. Good day to you, Big Bertrude. So, a bog dweller once feared and respected in the Commonwealth for her sorceress work. It is a pleasure to meet you at last, for Sandalwood always spoke highly of you and your handiwork. Nerk, he did he? In turn we know who thou must be. Yet thou speakest of the past. Sandalwood, doth he yet live? Speak plain and quickly. To be quite frank with you, madam, I do not know for certain, for I have been apart from him for some time, carrying out his will. Though I have every faith that I, Sandalwood, lives. As far as current whereabouts, I understand that he waits us somewhere near Wakingwood, beyond the waters. A labyrinth of a forest on the western half of Black Basin. Few know their way around it. The path to the sacred Mount Alodiel lies far beyond these suffocating woods. We wish to seek him there, though as you can see, our wagon is ill-suited for the task. The one called Bertrude frowns at this, studying the lone minstrel all the while. Indeed. Then leave us. Return at dawn, that is all. By your grace, Big Bertrude. The lone minstrel turns away, but Hedwyn stops him. Hold on, are you sure about this? Leaving the wagon in their care? All should be in accordance with my client's plan. You keep calling Sandalwood your client. He must reward you well. Aye, in a manner of speaking. He helped me find a sense of purpose I thought lost. Hedwyn nods at this and then turns to you. Well, my friend, I guess we'll see what happens, right? I'm off to let the others know. You find yourself with time for your vocations while the bog dwellers go about their business. I never do these two. I always mentor someone. Alright, Hedwyn. Let's mentor you. Of course, we're going all this way. We better make the most of it. You sit down with Hedwyn to go over some of the subtler aspects of the rites, such as the state of banishment and how to return from it. You sense he is beginning to understand. Banishment during the rites. I suppose it's to remind us of our exile, isn't it? A lone minstrel finds you early the next day. Reader, it is ready. Please, come have a look. The others are already there. Well, let's go inside the wagon. The black wagon appears different now than it did even a day before. The hull is fully sealed and reinforced, and all manner of nautical equipment adorns the port side. Wow. You people seeing this? I'm gonna have a look around. The wagon should be fit for sea voyage. Let us depart at your earliest convenience. What about Big Bertrand? She then appears as if on cue. Tell that Sandalwood he owes us twice over. If I may, Big Bertrand, you can tell him yourself if you wish to accompany us on our voyage north. Our group would welcome someone with your vast experience. Dare thee make flirtations upon us? No, Enough. But should ye see that Sandalwood, tell him also to come and visit us again. Now be gone from here and tell no one that we were paid in favors. She slithers off without another word. Soon the lone minstrel breaks the silence. We are fortunate she assisted us, but we should go, just as she said. I know the navigational controls and shall explain. This is so exciting! I don't know how to swim! Tito seems to share May's enthusiasm for heading out to sea. I'm beginning to feel ill already. The Sea of Solace awaits. Alright. To Worm Gulf. Oh! I know that bell ringing noise from Don't Starve. You and your companions watch the sea as your wagon rolls over the gentle waves. We have crossed into Worm Gulf. I hope that all of you are acclimating well. The tempestuous Sea of Solace lies beyond this death-still body of water. Exiled worms from the Sea Dominion naturally congregate around here. There is no acclimating to these worm-infested waters. We risk everything to sail here. Known for being reckless and single-minded, worms were perfectly suited to fill the Commonwealth's front lines. As long as we follow the cold current Big Bertrand indicated, we shall be safe. If the next ride is in the middle of the sea, how will our adversaries meet us there? They shall find their way as we find ours. It is all part of the scribe's design. Now, reader, please confirm the next sea point on our sea journey. We seek the hulk of Orez. The carcass of the doomed exploring vessel Dazravan lost in the waters of the downside. Outer Solace. So these are the fetid waters off the coast of the Flagging Hands, which is where we just were. The wagon continues rolling gently across the waves, which seems to you a welcome change of pace after having come from Flagging Hands not very long ago. However, Jodariel seems more concerned now than before and paces ceaselessly. When she notices Ruki, she stops him for some questioning. Greentail, how is he doing?
Who, Hedwin? Oh, he's pretty much the same. Been up all night, retching into the waters, if I had to guess. His first time out at sea?
His first. She turns to you. Reader, please check on Hedwin when you have the opportunity. He requires our support, and we require his swift recovery. Why is it always carrots? You wish them a good afternoon as you go check up on the others in the group. Later you find Hedwin looking out of sorts. Oh, hello, my friend. It's just, the sea hasn't been good for me, I guess. It's funny, all this trouble, just to get back to the Commonwealth of all places. Hey, tell me something. What do you miss the most about that place? The few friends I had. My life was almost always difficult, but several of my longtime confidants did help me get by. You tell him that there were those who did support you over the years, and that it pains you now to be apart from them. Yeah, I hear you, my friend. There's someone I miss terribly back there myself. I'm sure that when you make it out of here, your loved ones will be waiting. Anyway, I'll be fine, I think. Thank you for checking up on me. You sense he wishes to be alone. There is not much to be done for him for now. He's too ill to conduct the next rite. I am sorry for my interruption, reader. Please again confirm the next point on our voyage. The Sea of Solace. By the scribes, the sea, I didn't know it was so beautiful. Having escaped the waters of Worm Gulf, you now can see what must be the hulk of Oris far on the horizon. Not everyone has taken well to the sea voyage, however. Tizo is wondering if Hedwyn is feeling better. He requires further rest, Tizo. All we can do is to wish him a swift recovery. Reader, madam, from this point our voyage must diverge from Bertrude's instructions. Please consult with your companions about which course to take. Well, Under King Pass and Fathomless Trench. The north current toward the Hulk of Auras runs as quick as Under King Auras himself. The south current toward the Hulk of Auras teems with fish and other life. I'm gonna go with... May is pretty good about knowing what the 8 scribes want. I'm gonna go that way. I don't want to piss them off or anything. You find May gazing down into the depths. The water is so very beautiful, and yet it's very dangerous. They always said it's very dangerous if you fall in or drink enough of it. But the scribes, they have protected us, and they are watching. I just know. Even out here in the waters of Under King Auras. They urge us on, I feel it. I just know. 7th of the 8 scribes of the Book of Rites, known as the Persevering or the Sea Sojourner, the legendary leader of the Worms' undersea crusades, sought to reach the edge of the abyss. There is no denying that the north current sends you quickly on your way. Perhaps it is the thought of reaching land again, but you can sense a spring in everybody's step. +2 quickness for the next rite. Very good. At last, you arrive at the Hulk of Auras after journeying across the sea. It seems the next rite is to commence here soon, though there is no sign of your next adversaries yet. Reader, a moment of your time. You ask what is on your mind. Hedwyn, he is beginning to recover from his illness. However, its sudden onset serves as a reminder, I believe. I have known Hedwyn since he was a child. Even now, I hesitate to say that he has grown. Nevertheless, there are such things that even I would never say to him directly. For instance, I struggle with his confidence at times. Whether he leads us to our freedom or our doom, I am ambivalent. Speak not a word of this to him, of course. In case that is unclear, I shall tell him in my own way, if and when the time requires. In any case, when times remind me of his mortal weaknesses, I end up having to consider what should happen should we become separated permanently. She trails off a while. What I mean to say is, you should know that I am fully pledged now to this quest of ours, whether Hedwyn is the one to lead us to its end or not. I have my reasons. One of them is him. I expect the same holds true for you. That is all I wish to say. Take care, reader. She nods and brushes past you toward the door. You have returned, have you? What is it you require? Let's talk. There's an undulation I have sensed, reader, which means I think that your black wagon sails the seas. Am I not right? Of course I am. She laughs at this, or at herself, perhaps. I scarce remember the sea. It has been a little while since I bathed in it, you understand. My memories of it are wistful nonetheless, although if I remember correctly, the Sea of Solace is a disgusting mockery of the emerald seas near to the Empire. The Empire of Sar dominated the known world for millennia until the doomed reign of Solium Mur. Never shall we make the wicked errors of our predecessors, the Archjustice Androbles IV. That's the voice, so I was trying to do his voice. Do be careful out there, will you? Now let me cease my prattling, lest I extend my sentence by another such eternity or two. We had best stick to business. Farewell for now, then, reader. Alright, we got a new chapter. Down the river. In the words of Golgolathanian, the Master General. The Emperor Soliamur knew not of this, of course. Oh. There was something. What did he know not of? Okay. Calamur the rope collar trying to replace him. His expedition yielded not the treasure he desired, but brought him closer to his country than he had ever been before. As he traveled down the river Sklorian in pursuit of greed, he found instead an inkling of shame. He saw the sunken faces of his people, heard their words for him. In time he could not ignore it, and it proved more than he could bear. The river finally claimed him, his belongings, and his retinue. Once the people heard, I understand, they cried with joy. Perhaps he ought to have perished, but the mercy shown to him, I think, is what transformed him. Also, our wagon has this silver cudgel head in it now, which is a limbless, cold-blooded creature rescued from the sea. It is fully grown and has led a rich life. And this bell, a nautical bell. Among the black wagon's seafaring equipment, Hedwyn uses it to signal when food is ready.
Oh, you just keep on right on ringing that bell, sister. Keep at it.
Ruki seems to be taking issue with your frivolous use of the nautical bell. After all, there is no sign of a nautical emergency nor a prepared meal.
Oh, I know it's not mealtime. It's fine. I'm starting to really enjoy the constant ringing sound, though. Now that doesn't mean anything to me or anyone anymore. Besides, ringing that bell is probably some pretty good exercise, right? And it's good training for my ears, too. You know weak curs have ultra-sensitive hearing, don't you? Well, not anymore, I don't. Anyway, thanks. I mean that.
He storms off. Ruki shall never forgive you for abusing the nautical bell. Then so be it. Ruki reappears laughing heartily. He was only joking. Probably. I didn't know that was a thing that could happen.
Oh, hey, you guys. Funny running into you out here right in the middle of the drink. Know what I mean? Not a lot of customers today, so have a look. I'll give you a good deal.
I just want this pinch of stardust. Okay. And we're going to use this on Ruki. Boom.
That's how you get a repeat customer there, Dad. You give them a deal.
Having landed at the Hulk of Orez, you and your fellow exiles now anticipate the hour that the rites are to commence again. What do you think, Tizo? Don't I look just like Mr. Hedwyn? Tizo is worried that Hedwyn is still feeling unwell. Wait, I think... What's that? A serpentine creature emerges from the water, followed by several others of its kind. You recognize as a worm of the Sea Dominion, which is a vast and war-torn undersea regime, home to untold numbers of amphibious worms. Having conquered their waters, the worms clambered onto the Commonwealth's shores in search of new wars. What they all are doing here, you see plain by their ritual raiments. The nearest one somehow loosens its mask. Good sirs, and good ladies! So it is you that heed the summons to glorious competition against this knight and his brigade. Well then, let us do battle now without delay. More than our freedom is at stake here, but our very honor, and this knight fully intends to reclaim his. Oh, and lest this knight forget, he is called Sir Gilman. He salutes you all on behalf of the Pyre Hearts. Until the contest. Sir Gilman is a once proud knight of the Sea Dominion on a self-made quest to regain his honor. The Pyre Hearts are a triumvirate of worm knights who perceive the rites as great battles to be won. He splashes out of view just as the stars above begin to shimmer with strange light. Your fellow exiles are gathered on the rotting deck of the Hulk of Orez as your adversaries clamber into view. Ruki paws up to them.
Say, what are you worms even doing here? Can't you just swim back to the Commonwealth or the Sea Dominion or wherever it is you're from?
Ha ha! An excellent point. It seems then that these adversaries of the rights are clever. Wouldn't you say, sire?
Just get rid of them already, Gilman. As your commanding officer, this grant is hereby commands it. Hark!
Oh, hark! This knight wishes to introduce his noble commander. No worm knight in history has withstood as many frontline battles. Doff your helm, sire, as is our custom. May our adversaries tremble at the sight of you. He eated the beast. Sir Gilman attends to his commander's mask, despite his protests.
Oh, wait! Give this knight his mask!
This knight hereby presents you the great Sir Deluge. A noble visage, is it not? Sir Deluge is a petty worm knight of the Sea Dominion, who somehow survived countless battles. Sir Deluge trembles and squirms.
So yes, you can swim, or no?
Ha! Of course we knights can swim. All knights of the Sea Dominion can. But we are exiles in this land, the same as ye. We can swim, 'tis true, but 'tis summarily impossible to swim back up the river down which we're flushed to end up here. Nay, there is but one way to return.
Silence, Gilman! Nobody cares! Back to your post!
Sir Gilman hesitates, but does as he is told.
This knight knows who you are, Nightwings, and he is not afraid of you.
He somehow climbs back into his mask and coils up to his full height. That's like a Ghostbusters gag.
Now, on guard!
The exiles of the Worm Triumvirate take their positions as you focus on the Book of Rites. Reader, Hedwin's illness means he cannot help us here. He shall be counting on us. Rookie. Sure. Oh wow, I've heard so many tales of the Worm Knights. I thought they would be more impressive though?
Gilman, this is a status report. What is the enemy's position?
They now stand ready to confront us, sire. A very brave triumvirate they seem to this knight's eye.
Brave, air-sucking monsters, one and all. Pyre hearts, be ready!
Too easy. Oh my god, Sir Deluge just jumped into his aura.
Gilman, your farm is sloppy. Fight them as though your miserable life is on the line.
Your words do wound me, sire. This knight gives every right its very, very best. Though perhaps we do have much to learn from such a brave triumvirate as the one whom we now face.
Whose side are you on? Get out there and vanquish them at once. Wow, these bozos bicker even more than we do. Let's get them while they're busy fighting.
Oh, crap. Okay. Oh, that was so close.
Those worms were quick, all right, but Rookie Greentail's quicker.
Tizo is very pleased to have prevailed against the Worm Knights of the Pyre Hearts. The sea was making me a little queasy, honestly, but we still won. We won. This knight commends you, noble Nightwings. Gloriously fought indeed, and this knight shall wistfully remember this defeat till the end of his days.
Silence, Gilman! This is all your fault. Now cavorting with our enemies? How dare you!
This knight was but attempting honorary compliments, sire. Is it not in accordance with the rights to praise one's adversary on a worthy outcome?
Worthy? This knight will show you worthy, you miserable little minnow. You are a failure, Gilman. Now get from this knight's sight.
After triumphing over the Pyre Hearts with ease, you at last return to the wagon with your companions. There is little discussion of the Pyre Hearts, who seem to have already swam off toward wherever next the stars directed them. Instead, your fellow exiles' attention turns toward your companion who is absent for the rite. How is Hedwyn? The lone minstrel makes a sound, but no words form as yet. Something is troubling him. I urged him to remain bedridden. And he simply would not listen. I am very sorry, but...
Wait, what?
Everyone stares at the lone minstrel in stunned silence. The lone minstrel breathes a heavy sigh. But then... Hey, what's with the long faces, everyone? Minstrel, I should wring that neck of yours! As I was attempting to explain, Hedwyn is already up and about, despite my having strongly recommended further rest. Those that are unaccustomed to sea voyage and take ill, they are very likely to experience further symptoms if they do not remain bedridden or at least sedentary. Hedwyn is running a considerable risk of having to spend another night in great discomfort.
What are you, a doctor?
Nay, although I traveled once with one, extensively. Look, I appreciate your caution and concern, Tariq, but I'm pretty well accustomed to discomfort here, and I had to see how things turned out tonight. I haven't had to stay out of a rite like that before. So, you are back among the living then, Hedwyn. I was just seasick. Nevertheless, your full recovery requires rest. I think we could also use some rest after tonight. Anyway, thank you everyone for your concern, and I'm sorry that I worried you or caused you further burden. He turns to you. My friend, what do you say we figure out where to go next? I'm beginning to miss being on solid ground. You follow him outside where the night sky awaits. Hey, I wanted to thank you for conducting the rite back there without me being there. I could rest easy knowing you and the others would get through it. Anyway, I'll leave you to your reading. Can't begin to imagine where we'll be off to next. We're well past anywhere on the downside I've ever been. Even Jody hasn't gone this far. He bids you a good evening as you turn your attention back to the sky. Triesta, the Silver Star. This silver star burns bright over the fissured lands of Black Basin. Still further north, then. Not simply north. This shall prove difficult. What's the problem? Our destination is beyond the deathless tempest. A tempest raging in the Sea of Solace, seemingly for all eternity. The storm that arose after the death of the sea titan Unfathomed Plurnus never has entirely subsided. That was the titan that Orez killed with that shipwreck that we just had the ride at. A vessel such as ours has little hope of traversing it intact. Can't we go around it? Given our confrontation with the Pyre Hearts, our chances back in worm-held waters would be even worse.
Come on, people. It'll just be another day on the downside. Go get yourself some sleep while we still can. Bet you'll feel better in the morning.
Your optimism is infectious.
Isn't it?
You all concur that rest is in order, for the sea journey has been taxing to everyone. Come daybreak, you shall have to find a way to sail past the deathless tempest. Hey, May. Oh, hi, miss. I'm so happy right now. I'm happy because I was so worried about Mr. Headwind for a while there, you know? He was so kind to me when we first met. Him and Mr. Odariel and Mr. Greentail and you too. But I just really like him. She sighs. She seems happy to be here. Say, do you, She trails off for a moment. Do you think he likes me too? Encourage her. He suggests to Maeve that she has certain feelings for Headwind that she should let him know. It is a rare privilege to feel loved. She stares at you a moment. Then she begins to laugh. Oh, you're so silly, miss. I didn't mean like him like that. That's so embarrassing. Besides, I think that maybe he's a little old, you know? I'm going to cheer him up. This is a funny story. She bounds off, leaving you to ponder what just happened exactly. Alright, let's see if you have it. No, you don't have anything new. Okay. It's hard to know when Sandra has new dialogue. Later in the game it becomes pretty easy to guess, but right now it's hard. Ragged Rock. The north current towards Stormwall passes by old carcasses of ships long gone. Okay, valuables are here. The south current towards Stormwall brims with large sea creatures and frost sea. I think I want to go for valuables. I'm sorry, Tizo. The remnants of a shattered fleet do little to raise the confidence of your companions, given that the massive deathless tempest rages to the north, not far from your position. We ought be more concerned with that storm than in finding trinkets, Greentail.
Oh, relax already, Jody, and let me do my job. I don't show up when you're out there keeping watch and start telling you to come off it, now do I?
You interrupt me in the middle of my work no fewer than 4 times per day. They go on like this for some time before turning to you. Investigating the wreckage is going to take time, but you may find something to show for it. Sure, why not? Rookie is rarely mistaken when it comes to finding valuables. You suggest it may well be worthwhile to continue searching through the wreckage, after having come this far. Rookie grins wide.
You can see it my way, sister. Now let's see what we can get.
After an exhaustive search...
sorry, sister. I think I was just chasing the refraction of the sun or something. There's nothing down there.
Jodario fumes at all of this, but says nothing. Jodario lost one hope. Too bad I'm not going to use her. You and your companions look upon the deathless tempest. The stars demand you sail beyond it, yet the very thought is beyond reason. Then something in the nearby water stirs, and from it springs something familiar. Hold, good ladies and good sirs! This knight beseeches you to hear him, if you please. What is it now, Worm? The rites are ended. We have no further need of you. Oh, but you do! And in turn, this knight has further need of you, good lady. Out with it, then. Let us be joined! Let this knight join you, please! Can you believe this, Headwind? Not really, no. Nay, look ye not so surprised. Your valor in the rites did stir this poor knight's soul. He swears to you upon his long-lost honors would-be knight-errant of the sea dominion that he shall serve you to the end. What about the other worm friends back there, the Pyre Hearts? They are base cowards! This knight can no longer abide such spineless characters, having witnessed true glory in our clash upon the hulk of Orez. Never before have we been trounced so thoroughly. And furthermore, this knight shall aid your passage through the deathless tempest. Is it not so that you seek passage to the north? With this night's aid, you shall achieve your wish. Sir Gilman continues to persuade you for quite some time. He seems to know a way to cross the storm, some sort of long-held secret among worms exiled to these waters. Jordario pulls the rest of you aside after Hedwyn gives her a look. Are you most sure that Sandalwood would want this thing along? Mostly sure. Sandalwood wants someone for each mask, and this one seems about as good as we're going to get. Jordario glowers back at the worm, who tries his best to look presentable. Hedwyn is more gracious. He tells Sir Gilman that if he promises to help you cross the Deathless Tempest, then he can come along for now. This knight is overjoyed, and he hereby swears to see you pass the storm. Although first, this knight requires your consent. Give unto this knight your blessings in the name of the Nightwings, and thus shall he go forth. Tentatively agree to whatever he's asking so he can get on with it already. As you begin to say something in response, Sir Gilman cries out in triumph. He vanishes into the depths. Yet through this close encounter with him, you cling to some sense of where he is going and what he intends to do. Gilman tutorial. Determined to prove himself to you and the Nightwing, Sir Gilman emerges somewhere in the outer reaches of the Sea of Solace and calls out to you. Master Reader, if you can hear this knight, then he implores you now, lend him your guidance. This knight's objective ought be not far east of here. Today we shall bring peace to the embroiled sea. Know, however, that among this knight's brethren, the actions we are about to take are highly forbidden. But they are highly just! Thus Sir Gilman sets forth to quell the storm that rages to the north. Hark! Yonder lie the foul spawn of unfathomed Plurnas, boiling the seas with their wrath. The sea titan, once slain by the scribe under King Orez, her brood lies dormant in the sea. Tales of her monstrosity long spread across the world. Exiled worms within these waters long have harbored these abominations, using them to bar passage through the downside channels for any save this knight's own kind. Begone now from your fiends! This night shall finish what the Under King Orez started! So he doesn't cast his aura. The way his works is you slash to the end of his trail. Like that. Oh, hey, guys.
Hold it right there, you traitorous slug! How dare you turn your back on this knight to your superior?
Superior by rank no longer, for we no longer serve the Commonwealth, last this knight checked. Here, you hold no sway over this knight.
Ah, and what have you done to the spawn? Have you no honor left at all?
This knight has done that which required doing. His honor cannot sink much lower anyhow. He figured this would be an ideal time to free himself from servitude to you.
Why, you dare to staunch the tempest for those Nightwings?
Good Sir Deluge, this knight was born to dare. Now come and fight this knight if you so dare as well.
Ah, Pyre, banish him, that is an order.
Alright. Oh. What now, Sir Deluge? Shall you not face this knight yourself, and leave the dirty work unto your charges?
Fine, Gilman. You wish to stand against your commander? Then have it your way. Sir Marsh, Lady Seagrass, to me banish now this troublemaker.
You are master of this night no longer, Sir Deluge. Thus shatter our fraternal bonds. He's not Mike Wazowski. I'm trying to do a Pleakley voice. This knight would say it was an honor serving you, Sir Deluge, but that would be a bald-faced lie, and yet another stain upon his blackened reputation. Until we meet again. Oh, he's not green. Oh, Sir Deluge. I thought you said Gilman. Yeah, Sir Deluge is Mike Wazowski, but he sounds like Grant because he needs a cough drop.
Wait, you lowly traitor. This night will have your head. Gilman!
Actually, Billy Crystal just got old. As the day wears on, there is still no sign of the Worm Knight. Your companions grow restless, but then... Hail! This knight returns with newfound tales to tell, and new scars to show for them! Sir Gilman is sopping wet and visibly shaken. He struggles to maintain decorum. He is, in short, the very image of a Worm Knight. And more importantly, that little tempest ought no longer pose a threat for now. Behold! As if on cue, the deathless tempest begins to simmer and subside. Not so deathless anymore, huh? Would you look at that? He really did it. Of course this knight did it! Now, if it would be alright with you, this knight could really use some shut-eye. The Worm Knight then collapses in exhaustion. You and Hedwyn help him up. A deal's a deal, Sir Gilman. Welcome to the Nightwings. Huzzah! Renfair Worm. Alright. Deathless Tempest. With Sir Gilman's aid, you managed to breach the Tempest. You were true to your word, Worm. I shall give you that. But now what? We are stranded in this cursed storm. A most excellent question, and from one most fair. Call me that once more, and I shall tie you in a knot. Ha! And from one most spirited as well. This knight was wise to side with ye. Just where do we turn from here? Answer the question now. I'm just a pokey little eyeball. Sir Gilman does no such thing, although eventually he does make note of a specific current that should lead you to the lands beyond. If I may, I could corroborate, I don't know how to pronounce it, I think it's corroborate actually. If I could corroborate Sir Gilman's account, we are close to making landfall. Then let me be the first to say, let's go.
Say, Tariq?
Hi, Rookie, what is it?
That loot you're always carrying around. You know how to play that thing, don't you?
Why, I suppose I do.
Good, because I was thinking it's a little gloomy here. We could use a little tune to lighten up the mood, know what I mean?
Aye, then let me see what I can do. So that is a folk song about what happened to Plurnus. At last your wagon rumbles onto solid, jagged ground. The land called Black Basin. Black glass, searing vapor, and strangling forests mark the forsaken lands that loom across the sea. The 8 scribes first discovered this, the northern landmass of the downside. Your fellow exiles unpack the wagon so you can take stock of how best to reach your destination. Hey, Sir Gilman. You approach Sir Gilman, who must have just finished practicing his fencing maneuvers. He regards you with a single eye. Hail, Master Reader! This knight is determined to train harder, having joined the famous Night Wings. He shall ensure that this triumvirate continues to live up to its most feared reputation. This is such an honor, and this knight has a great deal of honor to regain. Having fled the Pyre, this knight fully expects now to conduct the rites in a most honorable fashion, to the fullest letter of the law described within the books. Some triumvirates this knight has met, and perchance mentioned by name. They are inclined to bend the rules a bit, sometimes a lot, and to prevail by any means they can. But this is wrong! The exile who refuses to obey the rules as they were written by the Under King Oras and his 7 friends deserves neither his honor nor his freedom. Thusly does this knight have the confidence the Master Reader shall resist any temptation to conduct the rites in any underhanded fashion. Oh yeah, we definitely won't be doing that, huh? Now then, this knight must undergo a thorough cleansing, having traded to the point of foulness, so please excuse him, Master Reader. He slithers off, humming some sort of chivalrous tune. Here's Sir Gilman's crest, official certification of knighthood in the Commonwealth, oft sought by Worm Knights. So then, we are back on solid land, or something like it, Then this must be Black Basin. Flames and noxious fumes on one side, suffocating forest on the other. Lovely, lovely place. So good of you to take me here. You truly would pursue those blasted stars until the farthest corners of the land, it seems. Though I had better cease my blasphemy, or else the scribes themselves just might descend from up on high and strike me with another much-deserved penalty. The thrill of such transgressions, reader. Sometimes it keeps me going, not that I have any real choice. Now we had best get back to our normal business, as it were. You find that Hedwyn has asked for several volunteers to scout the area and report back. Alright everyone, don't go too far and let's meet back by dusk. Please, use caution. The exiles dwelling in these lands are, well, rather territorial. For your part, you remain with the Black Wagon to keep watch. You see occasional dark shapes soaring across the sky, but none of them draw near enough for you to see in any detail. Eventually your companions make their way back, and everyone arrives as planned, or earlier. Hi everyone, I'm back! I've come back! May returns from the east with little report, save for word that the glowing molten rock there is very, very hot. This knight yet lives, although he has little else to report. The newest member of the group, Sir Gilman, returns from a northern pass, visibly shaken. He appears to have discovered an intense fear of heights. Tiso wonders whether any species of fish lives in the pools or rock nearby. The little imp Tiso seems disappointed to have left the water behind. He remains with you near to the wagon. There is a western pass that seems traversable. If we travel by the light of dawn, the shadows in the crags may well cover our advance against whomever may be watching. Begging your pardon, I do not wish to contradict your strategy, madam, though in my experience we shall not remain hidden for long during the climb toward the nest of Triesta. The exiled harp matriarch lived in solitude among these very cliffs. The exiles of the Eye-Wing remnants, you may have no love for them inherently, but they have no such qualms with me for now. I may be able to negotiate safe passage. The last surviving faction of the Winged Harps, the ancient enemies of the Commonwealth. They are as coarse as their feathers. They hold themselves superior. Negotiate with them? Then Hedwyn steps in as the lone minstrel bows and backs away. Hey, let's not decide on this just yet. We're not going anywhere right now, that much we can agree on. We'll decide how best to go ahead come morning. For now, let's take the rest of the afternoon and get our bearings. Judario glares at the sky as everyone else disperses. Okay, I think Sandra has new dialogue every map at this point in the game. I'm going to go off of that. You and Hedwig spend some time reviewing some of the specific aspects of the rite, such as the properties of the aura. You sense he gains something from it. The guides for this game are really bad, so that's why I'm super unsure about Sandra dialogue. No matter what anyone says, I refuse to think that there's some sort of limit to one's understanding of all this. Alright. Which one did I want to have? I'll take that. There's always more to be learned in all this. That much I can tell. The low road to the nest of Trieste passes through Reaper's Sharp Sands. The high road to the nest of Trieste is patrolled by the Commonwealth's ancient enemies. I'm going to go that way because I don't support Jordario being racist. Show yourselves, you frightened little birds. All day long, winged shadows cross the sun. You are being watched. Jordario is very unhappy about it, though the lone minstrel now attempts to calm her. Perhaps I can communicate with them. Please believe me, madam, when I say your enmity towards the harps had best be held in check here. A winged race, also known as the High-Wing Remnants, at war with the Commonwealth. Okay, we already knew that. Jordario looks at him with fury in her eyes, yet he retains his calm demeanor. Soon she grants his request with a silent gesture. Then he calls toward the heavens. Good sisters, we are humble travelers such as you, and beg your leave. We journeyed by the sea and seek safe passage through your lands. We shall not disturb your hunting or your nests. The request is met with nothing but silence. You search in vain for any indication of acknowledgement. Then without notice, one of them appears. She swoops the minstrel up and out of sight before Jordario can respond. Damnation! Wait here, I shall go find him! For a long, terrible moment, you are alone with your panic. Soon, however, the lone minstrel returns amid the sound of flapping wings. He dusts his cloak and calls out toward them. We thank you for your hospitality, good sisters. We shall be on our way. Having seen this, Jordario returns, sullen. The exiles of the Hanging Remnants are letting you pass for now. It seems they are having some dispute within the ranks and wish no further troubles for the time. It is a warning, one that leaves Jordario fuming. Jordario lost 4 help for the right. She's so racist. At last you arrive at the nest of Trieste, where the next rite is soon to commence. You cannot shake the feeling that unseen eyes watched your wagon's ascent and remain watching now. Page revealed the hunt for myrrh. Surprised nobody wants to chat me up right now. Yeah, okay, it must be once per map. The hunt for myrrh. My emperor lay there, bleeding and alone, stranded in a bitter land beyond the river. With fleeting consciousness, he understood the folly of his quest and the folly of his rule over his country. Thus did he await the last embrace. It was the imp Haoub that nursed him back to health, and warned him often of the dangers he would have to face. Many enemies of Myrrh would come and search for him, some under employment by the rope collar, some longing openly for cold, uncomplicated vengeance. I was one of them. I plunged into the river willingly. We needed to be sure that he was dead. Alright, do you have anything new?
Oh, hey, you guys, what brings you way out here? No, wait, don't tell me. I don't want to know. All I want is to get you the best deals on the downside.
I just want Stardust.
See you guys again sometime soon, maybe, okay? Because I gotta say, you are my favorite customers I had all week.
You and your fellow exiles gather on the blasted lands called the Nest of Trieste, expecting the imminent commencement of the rites. You see no sign of any adversaries, but then you hear a whooshing sound above. This, then, is what passes for the Nightwings now. Such a rabble, not even dressed for the occasion yet. It seems the scribes have little pride in their tradition. Hold your tongue, little bird. We have not come for talk. No, you have come on behalf of your commonwealth. Mark well my words, you horned filth. When at last we free ourselves, your home shall burn. With that, the harp swoops off as Jodario glowers after her. It is only then as you realize another harp has come. She is quite serious, I assure you. I can help you sort her out. It's in our mutual interest. You know not of my interest. Let's give this another shot. Hi, my name is Pamitha Thane. The surly one back there, that was my blood sister. No need to judge her harshly, though. We've only met just now, though I must say, something about you reminds me of her. How dare you implicate that I have anything in common with your ilk? Just then, Hedwyn shows up to intervene. He whispers something to Jodario. No, Hedwyn, you cannot be serious. Jody, I'm asking you to trust me on this one. Am I perhaps interrupting something? Say, by the by, however did you make it all the way across the sea? Didn't see you fly in. Trust is something I'm loath to give away, Hedwyn. But you have set our course thus far, and I have followed, so do as you must. That Sandalwood had better have an explanation for all this. Jodario storms off as Hedwyn turns to you. What's your take on this one, my friend? Our informant wants someone for each mask. I hadn't expected we'd run into a harp, yet here she is. What are you getting from her? Hi, Millie. We are at the Nest of Trieste, about to conduct the next rite. You turn your attention to Pamitha, who has been watching with bemused interest. Ah, a reader, are you? Pleasure to make your acquaintance, darling. Well, here I am. Gaze intently all you like, and tell your comrade there the truth of it, why don't you? You sense that she is conflicted about something, though you do not know what. You also sense, however, that her motives here and now are earnest. So, this is kind of the reader title has another meaning to it. You can also sort of read people. She seems alright. You tell Hedwyn that you think the group should take its chances with Pamitha and take her at her word. My thoughts as well. I think and hope Jodario will come around. He then turns to Pamitha. I'm Hedwyn. We'll accept your offer on 2 conditions, if you'll hear me out. Conditions? Why, sure, I love a good condition or two. First, after we're finished here tonight, you come along and make sure that your blood sister and her friends don't give us any trouble when we're headed out. Second, you'll have to find a way to get along with Jodario, whom you met earlier. Brilliant. I had no plans to stick around here anyway. As for your demon friend, no doubt we'll get on famously. Now, I don't suppose you have an extra set of rhymes I could use, because I think the rite is getting started. You look up and see that she is right. From a distance, you observe as Pamitha, now clad in Nightwing's raiments, heads towards your adversaries in the rites. You, what sort of heathen harp would dare take wing against us? Your new companion then loosens the bindings on her mask. Hello there, Tamitha. Pamitha's blood sister stares back at her a while before responding. What in the saint's name are you doing here with them? The saint is Saint Trieste is the 5th of the 8 scribes, known as the Discipliner, the Blessed Born, the eldest of the harp matriarchs. She anointed the Book of Rites and gave its words their power. Doubtless come to dig your talons in my back again. No, sister, I've come to have a word with you. Save it. I cannot help but share your poisoned blood, but I shan't ever count you as my sister. You expect me to believe that you came all this way for talk? You waste your time as ever. What's life if not a waste of time, dear sister? Give me a chance, why don't you? What do you even have to lose anymore? Besides, I've come a long way. Silence. You shan't have come here, and the time for talk is long since past. If only you could see yourself, again consorting with my enemies. Fine then, savor their defeat, but I warn you, stay away from me. Pamitha says nothing more as her blood sister turns away again. Pamitha gets your attention. Listen to me, reader darling. The rest of you are ill-equipped to navigate this place. Let me conduct this ride on your behalf, and my wings will bring you victory. Dear lady, your words ring true. This knight is flattered that you have not eaten him, as is the tendency among your kind. This knight hereby volunteers his post in the triumvirate for thee. Sir Gilman refuses to participate in the rites this night so that Pamitha could face her sister. You observe the treacherous terrain. Pamitha should be better suited to the rites here than the rest of you. Well, I guess we have to use her. Why, I thought you never asked there, darling. I accept. If the little bird is going to conduct the rites for us, then I shall not. Okay. Tizo is big. Tizo promises to do his best against Tamitha and the Essence. You can count on me, my friend. Come then, sister. Perhaps when we are finished here, you'll spare me a moment of your time. I shan't be tricked by you again, Pamitha. How poetic that we meet here in the downside. I can think of nowhere else where I would rather see you rot for what you did. To our people and to me. Pamitha seems to sense your presence and then catches your attention. Hello there, reader darling. If I'm to be at your mercy in all this, I'd like it very much if you could memorize how often I'm to wallow in a state of banishment. Quickly, let me show you what we sisters of the Highwing Remnants can do. See, darling, we harps, we're not so bad. Now I suppose we'd better get to work, Just don't go underestimating Tamitha over there. I trust you'll do the best you can. To the skies, sisters, talon formation. Tizo, was it? Tell me something. You know how to fly? Tizo's rather proud of his ability to flutter, as a matter of fact. Then listen up. My blood sister there, she'll swoop right past you if you're careless. But we harps simply cannot get much altitude down here. So if she goes for any unfair tricks, just jump for it and catch her in the act. She always hated when I used to do that to her. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to bother. Damn you, Pamitha! You are no true Thane. Feared. Oh, Pamitha and Tamitha are the only surviving members of the Thane clan. To think that you have the gall to call me sister still, after everything you wrought upon us. I had to break it to you, Tamitha, but I don't think my actions, however much they hurt you, had any effect on our familiar status. Look, I know how I wronged you. That's why I'm here. You don't have to know my side of the story. Oh, your side of the story. If I wanted to hear more lies and deceptions, I ought to have asked the Commonwealth to stay my sentence for a while. Well, if you have come all this way to face me, Pamitha, then come and do it. You and me! You think that you see Pamitha shake her head. Everyone stay back. Oh, okay. You Commonwealth filth, only through that traitor's help could you have beaten us. You postponed the coming of our liberty. We are ever patient, and our sisters on the other side shall have their day, with or without my aid. Tamitha, wait, please. You found good company there, Pamitha. May you wither here with them. I hope sincerely we shan't ever meet again. Pamitha stands motionless as her blood sister departs. Tizo is trying to let Pamitha know the others are returning to the wagon. Sure, I don't see why not. Tizo just had a flash of inspiration about his role in the rites and is part of the Nightwings. After thwarting the Essence rather decisively, you and the others return to your wagon to consider your next move, and how best to integrate Pamitha in the group. Don't worry, I won't be staying any longer than it takes. I like my fresh air so I can sleep up on the roof. I trust the rites will cause my path and Tamitha's to cross again before long. You're welcome with us for now, Pamitha. Trust is what got us here. Isn't that right, Ruki? But Ruki does not seem to hear the question. He has been rather quiet since first encountering your new guest. Pamitha shoots him one of her smiles. He stammers something about having to check the wagon wheels again. He runs off. During this discussion, the minstrel pulls you aside. Reader, I ask a moment of your time outside. There is something I may ask we go here in Black Basin, Reader. By your leave, of course, and provide that the stars allow it. Would you look upon them for us, please? Lu, the vernal star. The vernal star burns bright over the densest woods. The glade of Lu, directly due west. The great sap scholar Lu Sklorian here vanquished the root titan Limbless Arazek. Then it is just as my client indicated. This client of yours, our informant, Sandalwood, he entrusts us with this wagon, this quest. Why? What does he want from us? You may ask him yourself. He awaits us somewhere in Waking Wood, due west. How do we find him? He shall find us. It seems you are soon to finally meet Sandalwood. At dawn, you shall have to cross a single narrow path leading west, where he supposedly waits. Okay, here's Pamitha's moonshine, kept close at hand in the off chance of a good occasion, or a very bad one. You approach Pamitha, who has kept to herself since she joined your small band. You sense she is unaware of you as she preens her flight feathers, but then she speaks up before you can do the same. Come to check up on me, reader darling? In those first moments when we met, that vote of confidence in me which you relayed to that nice Headwind boy, I am grateful you were willing to see past these wings. One of your kind's ancient enemies just happens to insert herself into your group, and you just go with it? However, I assure you that my motives here are plain. You'll see, I have business with my blood sister Tamitha, and nothing more. You briefly met, I think. She's quite a catch. As to the little quibble between us, well, it's a long story, I'll know. One that's frankly no one's business but hers and mine. Surely we'll run into her again. Maybe not soon, but in time, and we have the rest of our long lives to wait. Anyway, happy to aid you in your quest until such time, especially to the extent that aids me in mine. A simple exchange. Until then, stay vigilant, darling. You needn't concern yourself with making small talk with someone like me, and besides, we harps have a saying, liars abound. She swoops away before he can respond. Sulphur Main. Precarious path leading toward the woods. The wagon hit a snag descending the black crags. Its wheel is stuck. Joe Dario is not pleased. First, that blasted little bird. Now this. Though you lack Joe Dario's raw strength, you join in as she attempts to dislodge the wagon. At last, with a roar and a heave, she forces the wagon back onto solid ground. May this sandalwood be worth all of the hassle. Thank you, Jody. I'm guessing Sandalwood doesn't like to be kept waiting. He is very patient, on the contrary. Not I. Let us move on. Soon the wagon is prepared to press onward down the jagged slopes toward Wakingwood. Your companions who explored ahead advise on which of the forked paths is best. Flamberg lands on a northern plateau over Wakingwood, pocked with seething fissures. Lands to the east of Wakingwood, riddled with black crags. Glass Peak. I'll go with Gilman. Sir Gilman is relieved at your decision to take the flatter of the two paths down the black crags, though nonetheless seems rather shaken by the steep trip down. This knight mislikes these heights! For shame, Master Reader, you must take this knight for a common, craven coward! He buries his head in the soil. When at last you coax him back up, you see that he has an item of some sort. Ha ha! This knight did have you fooled there, did he not? He explains how finding the item was his plan all along. A porous crystal. A valuable mineral dredged up from the Black Basin. Market men love it as much as dry imps. Having passed beyond the black crags, your wagon arrives at the edge of Wakingwood. It is here that Sandalwood is to be expecting you. However, most puzzling, he ought to have met us here. You said he would find us himself. Aye, he was to find us at the edge of these woods. Were you supposed to keep waiting for him? He would desire for the stars to be your guide as always. The rights beckon, and the rights take precedence above all else. Surely he shall find us yet. Then let's keep moving. How do we get through these woods? The lone minstrel notes two possible paths forward from this point, though cautions that the woods are difficult to navigate, and Sandalwood would have known the most expedient path. Needlefield, a small clearing east of the Glade of Lugh. Greymoor contains the grandest trees in all Wakingwood. So Sandalwood studied the rights here, and he used to live here. I think it would go through here. Sandalwood is a master in the rights, or used to be at least. Then, well, it is not my place to say. Doubtless he shall tell you in due time. Now, if only we could find him. He used to mentor his own companions of the rights, not far from here. However, you find no trace of the informant anywhere nearby, and without his guidance you remain quite lost in the woods. The woods seem to have encroached. There is no path forward, while neither of the paths leading backward appear to match the route you took to this point. Burnt Grove. Ashen grounds amid Wakingwood. The southern pass through Wakingwood. Let's go where Tizo wants to go for once. The woods are so disorienting at this point that you decide to take a break for camp and survey the surroundings for any clues. Perhaps later there shall be time to pursue your vocations. The Beyonder Crystal seeks Jodariel. Let me ask you something, lovely reader. Have you any idea for how long I've been imprisoned here? 1,000 years. You guess that Sandra could have been in her current state of exile since well before the dawn of the current age. At first, she shows no indication that she even heard you. Close. Soon enough, I shall be getting there. I have been imprisoned for 837 years. According to my count, at least. It is possible I have lost track, although given my state, I can assure you I have had ample time to verify my arithmetic. She goes silent for a time. Let me give you some advice. If you decide to kill the Emperor, make sure you achieve what you set out to do. I expected my own death, regardless of the outcome of my task. I was not expecting this. Certainly not to be telling you about it 837 years later, or however long that has been. Although, enough of that for now. Let us get back to business. Scribe trial. Oh good, just as I was beginning to feel more bored even than usual. You ask Sandra, okay, to administer one of her special trials for Jodariel. That surly demon, is it? She could stand to lighten up, though I fear that is not a secret I can teach. But let us bring her forth, regardless. Soon Jodariel appears in heat of the summons. What is the meaning of this, reader? What is the meaning of this, reader? I just said that. Where are the others? The apparition Sandra appears and loosens her mask. Welcome to my humble home, demon. You are good at taking orders, no? State your purpose quickly, Wraith. My purpose is to put you to the test. You may be fearsome to behold, but you are old and slow. Your weaknesses perhaps outweigh your strengths, though I sorely wish to see you and your lovely reader prove me wrong. Old, she says. Very well then, reader. Let us show her whether she is right. Oh, her enemies are all harpies. Oh my god. Oh, so close. Okay. I almost got it. Alright. Oh, come on. Okay. Ouch. Ah. Those tackles are dangerous. Oh, come on. I do not like using Jodariel. She is so slow. Maybe I'll give her that thing of +2 quickness. If we don't win, which is likely. Fuck off. Notice how they keep throwing in the orbs so they don't get banished? Can we not equip her? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go back to the wagon, change her equipment out, and then do it. I hate the input lag. Ugh. Stop, please. There we go. Are you satisfied now, Wraith? I am not a satisfied demon. However, your performance was sufficient and you passed my test. Thus, congratulations are in order to you and to your lovely reader. Now farewell. That was a strange experience. What do you have there, reader? Solium's horn. Sandra's second blade managed to graze her target's face, twisted as it was, with sorrow not with rage. So Sandra cut the horn of Solium Mur off when she tried to kill him, and that's the horn. Yeah, I know what the common room does. You don't have to tell me. You find nothing of interest while sifting through the tall brush of the underthicket. But then... What is it, Tizo? Tizo seems to have found a clue to the whereabouts of the Lone Minstrel's client. The limp brings you a strip of bark. It does not seem unusual at first until you notice a message carved onto the inside. A sturdy strip of bark. On it is written, "Come to Cinderroot. S." For sandalwood.
So it's some kind of message from the sandalwood guy?
Seems that way. Which way to Cinderroot? A hushed clearing south of the Glade of Lugh. Grounds well traveled by saps knowledgeable in the rites. It is due northwest. Perhaps we can set forth early tomorrow when the woods are still. Sounds good. Everyone rest up. Big day coming up. Hedwyn gains a somewhat stronger grasp of how to better pass the celestial orb through strength of will and trust in one's triumvirate rather than through dexterity alone. He nods in understanding. The stars themselves have such a key part to play in all of this, don't they? You arrive on the outskirts of Cinderroot, but once again the informant Sandalwood is nowhere to be found. You sense the hopes of your companions waning as you search through the area yields nothing. Then something startles the little imp Tizo. Tizo seems to be crying out in surprise. He has spotted something, or someone. A tall figure strides forward from the trees, making a sound like laughter. The imp charges toward him, and leaps right into the figure's arms. They embrace. "Hail, Tizo, but you look famished. Here." The tall sap produces something that the imp swallows immediately and with great pleasure. Tree-like creatures, known for their ingenuity, cleverness, and ambition. Having allied with the saps, the Commonwealth achieved in decades what it could not achieve in centuries. The lone minstrel nods his head in affirmation. "Everyone, I wish to introduce you to my client, Volfred Sandalwood." "It has been too long, Volfred, sir." "Too long indeed, Tariq. I trust your new companions bring some color to your days." "They do, sir. I think that you shall find them worthy the Nightwings." The sap looks upon the lot of you. You cannot sense his thoughts. "We shall see." And then he turns to you. "You must be the reader. I am certain that we all appreciate your efforts here, my girl, though we shall manage on our own from here on out. You are welcome to continue on with us, of course, though you are free to go. I trust you have been adequately compensated for your time. Thanks as well for looking after all my books." You consider what to say to all this. I'm gonna stay." You stand your ground, meeting Volfred's steady gaze, and assert to him that you do not feel your commitments to and from this group have yet been satisfied. "Hold on. Volfred, sir, I'm Hedwyn. My companions and I are the ones who answered your call. We followed the signs you left for us. Now we're here, thanks to you and also to this reader. Not just a reader, she's our friend. My friend. She's not disposable. We made her a promise, and our freedoms are now intertwined." Volfred smirks at this. "Freedom's not something to be exchanged or exchanged, my boy. I'd hoped that you'd have come to grasp this much by now." He breathes a sigh. "It seems that we've started off on the wrong foot. It's not my wish to sour the occasion, for there's much to do. You have a right you need to get to, do you not? I'll come along, though shall not interfere, for it seems you have a kinship with this reader of yours. Now then, Tariq." "Hi, Volfred, sir?" "Come, let's have a chat." "Of course, sir." Volfred strides toward the black wagon, which must have belonged to him. You sense many conflicting emotions among your companions. Your wagon cuts through a clearing to arrive at the Glade of Alu, where the stars directed you. Volfred nods his approval, but leaves everyone to their devices. As you approach Volfred Sandalwood, you feel very much aware that you reside within his black wagon rather than he in yours. He studies you in silence for a time, then, "Tariq, if you have a moment." "Aye, Volfred, sir, what is it?" "This reader, you deem her worthy by your estimation?" The lone minstrel tilts his hat in your direction. "If you wish my own estimation, Volfred, sir, then I do. Of course, it is not entirely for me to say, but I have seen this reader integrating with the others well. I believe that her achievements are self-evident in having reached Black Basin. Your instructions were deliberately difficult to follow, yet she and the others followed them." "Indeed, your words make sense as ever, Tariq. And what does little Tizo think of her, I wonder?" Tizo indicates that, as a matter of fact, he is happy to have you around. "Thanks, little buddy." "There you have it, sir." "I see." He continues to examine you. "High praise isn't oft spoken by those two, my girl. Nonetheless, I shall be watching you." Hold on. Now pardon us. Tariq and I have matters to discuss. Sorry, I had to tell Lucas not to play a game because I'm using his library for this. They leave without another word. Although you think you notice the lone minstrel look your way over his shoulder. Nothing new in the wagon from Sandalwood. The demon. Emperor Mur. Scarcely could I recognize him when at last I found him. A half-starved animal, horns sprouted from his head, a bestial mirror of his blackened reputation. And I, a man who conquered countries, feared my emperor then in such a way as I had never known. My charge had been to slay this man, but when I discovered him, he was already fighting for his life. The little imp Haoub proved of little help against the Sisters of the Arch, which is what Sandra was a part of, whose entire lives were culminating in this instant. I was unable to watch. My heart ached with such pity for the man, and for the love I felt for him when I had served him, that I sprang to his defense.
Oh, hey, you guys. I guess I did get the word out about this new franchise which we opened here just now. So I give you a great deal. Just tell your friends, okay? Oh, and hey there, Mr. Sandalwood.
Good day to you as well, Ron. Sell this, buy that.
Appreciate you doing business, and you guys be sure to tell your friends, okay?
You and your fellow exiles arrive at the sacred site called Glade of Lu, and now look to the stars in the sky to signal the beginning of the next rite. The woods about you bring a sense of tranquility you've not felt in some time, but then you notice one of the trees move. It shuffles towards you and regards you with an exaggerated bow. Well, goodness, by the roots of Luce Glorian, third of the 8 scribes of the Book of Rites, known as the Wise or the Philosopher. He is said to have fathomed every thought, and his wisdom flows through the river of his name. It would appear that rumors are correct. The Nightwings have returned. Oh, but where are my manners? One moment. The sap claws his mask with his wispy fingers. Much better. H. Manly Tinderstaff at your service. Perhaps you've heard of me. A sycophant who seems certain he will land a position of high standing once he's free. My fellows and myself, you perhaps know us as the Chastity. A triumvirate bent on exploiting the rights to gain status in the Commonwealth. We soon shall stand against you in the rights, for now I'm just whiling away the time making small talk. Now then, as I have introduced myself, your turns. To whom am I speaking? Then in your mind's eye you see Wolfred and hear his voice. Manly Tinderstaff is not to be trusted. Reveal neither yourselves to him nor me. Well? Beneath her mask, Jodariel stares back at him in silence. You suspect Wolfred's message may have reached every member of the group. Why now, how very rude indeed. Well, fine, ignore me, but you do so at your peril. Anyhow, once this evening's rite commences, at any moment now, then I'm afraid ignoring me won't be an option any longer. Oh, and now I do believe the sky is beginning to show. We'll have to chat again some other time. Now come along, come along. Manly bows again and wanders off into a clearing as the stars begin to burn. Oh, it's Liu. I wonder, O honored Nightwings, how well you know these woods. Why, these woods would strangle you, and I'm afraid I could do little to stop them even if I tried. You might do better to beware of them. When Jodario continues to ignore him, he grows upset. Why, you insolent... Then fine, let us begin the dance indeed. He shoves his mask back on in a huff. And allow me to thank you in advance for helping me return unto my proper station in the Commonwealth. Okay. Hedwyn. Rookie. Gilman can like swim around the roots. And there's not a lot of room for flying, so glory is within our grasp. Would that this night had hands with which to grasp it. Are you quite ready, finally, O Nightwings? May all those masks of yours ensure no harm should come to any of your lovely countenances. Now come along, let us give the stars a show. May I present to you Humboldt Manley Jr., Manley's Spapling, which not only has a name but bears a similar posture and likeness to him. Why, he is every bit my equal, and is poised to guarantee the Tinderstoff line shall have a bright, bright future. He goes on and on about his sapling for a while. We have got to shut him up already.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Come on, let's get him.
Now, isn't he just the most precious thing you've ever seen? The sapling is nothing but an extension of Manley. If he is banished, the sapling should cease to trouble you as well. Oh, what's this? It seems the woods themselves are closing in upon our little soiree. Oh, do be careful now. These grasping roots and vines, they may not hold you in such high esteem as I. Oh dear, the woods are closing in, uncomfortably close at that. Whatever shall we do? Perhaps if you just stand aside a while, we can put an end to this that much the sooner. Say, have any of you noticed how it's feeling rather crowded out here? Almost as if the 100 Minds himself resents you being here. Yes, I rather think that's it. So cease with all your scurrying about with that damned orb and let me handle this! Alright, you Nightwings, I've had it up to here with you. Or perhaps I've simply had it up to here with all these encroaching plants, these miserable things. Either way, I don't appreciate how you're ignoring me. We did it. One step closer, everyone.
Yeah, that's how we do it, people.
Well, my. Oh, worry not, oh Nightwings. I'm not angry with you, honestly. But I'm very, very, very disappointed. I thought perhaps that we had something going here between us. You scratch my back, I scratch yours and all. Instead, however, you decide to spit in my face. Fine, we'll have to see where all your rudeness gets you. Now, ta-ta.
Faster, stronger, and a little better looking, too. I mean, is there anything I can't handle?
Huzzah! Great wisdom clouds over this knight's entire consciousness. That was well done, my girl. I'm beginning to see why your companions vouched for you. Don't let it get to your head, of course. After besting the chastity in a convincing manner, you returned your wagon to consider your next move. An adequate performance back there. Adequate? Yes, adequate. For the next part of our plan, go have your reader there consult the stars, see where they take you next. I'll give you a hint. It's further north. It's going to be high up. Did this knight hear you say, high up? And it's going to be cold. We'll see. Come on, my friend. Let's have a look outside then. That plan Volford mentioned. I just want you to know. I don't know what he means. We're here because we're going to be free again. We won't be living out our days as exiles. That's the only plan as far as I'm concerned. But there's always a catch, right? We'll see what Volford has to say. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. No matter what, we're getting closer thanks to you. Solium, the golden star. The golden star shines right over the highest mountain and all the downside. So now you see it for yourself. You are summoned to the north, where looms Mount Alodial, the sacred mountain on whose summit the rites were first conceived. Whether its summit is the downside's closest point to the Commonwealth or the farthest, none can say. And at the very top, the fall of Soliam. The temple at the highest point in the downside exists to honor the 8 scribes. You confirm the stars indicated this exactly. Volford, sir, how did you know? Wolford smiles back at him, but you sense his thoughts, as though he is directing them at you. He turns back to Hedwyn. Your reader's skills, while rare, are not unique. But as I said, I'll let her do the job. I see you have something special going here, which benefits the plan. What plan? I thought this was about our freedom. Oh, fear not, my boy. It is indeed. Plenty of time to tell you all about it on the way. For now, however, you look like you can use some rest. And for that matter, so can I, if you'll excuse me. You sense your companions are exhausted from their recent travels. Given the road ahead, you agree it would be best to take the night to recover as much as possible. At dawn, Volford is already up. He reveals to you a pathway through the woods into the cold lands to the north, beyond which lies your destination. The first time I played this game, when he did the I too can read my girl thing, I shat my pants. You get clear of the woods at last and arrive in lands grown cold in the shadow of Mount Aladiel. You will have to make it all the way to the top. In a moment of respite, Volford calls everyone together to discuss matters pertaining to the rights and the plan to which he alluded. You banded together with a common faith that freedom from the downside is not impossible, am I correct? But let me ask you something. What does freedom even mean to you? He looks in your direction as he asks, defying you to answer. You cannot sense his own thoughts on the subject, and only know the truth of how you feel. Freedom to me is having no master. You tell Volfred that freedom means not having to answer to anyone and going through life beholden only to one's own will. He considers your remarks for a short while. Perhaps you led a troubled childhood, my girl, for all of us at one time or another have had to answer to someone with more wisdom in the world than we. Though you make reference to the kind of authority which governs the commonwealth we know, which sent us down the river into exile. Would you be free if you were ruled beneath those bylaws once again? He then turns his attention to the whole group. Now let me tell you all what freedom means to me. Freedom means to live life without fear. To be able to indulge one's curiosities and passions, at least the ones that cause no harm to others, without the constant threat of judgment and reprisal. Freedom means not being made a criminal for what you know, or whom you love, or what you choose to think or not think. He looks out toward the distant mountains. Within the next few days, your time in exile could come to an end. You could see the Commonwealth once more. And you would be exalted there, given the highest honor, the opposite of how you got here. But you would not be truly free, I think. At the least, you would become complicit to an ancient system that would deign to cast down others such as you. It is a system whose well-intentioned founding principles have long been lost. And the 8 scribes, if they are out there still, have made quite clear that they shall not intervene firsthand. That is where you come in. He turns to you and everyone again, looking to each of you. Long have I wished to gather such a group, that together you might see that seeking freedom only for yourselves is too modest of a goal. You share a higher calling now. The plan, then, is this. We free each other from the downside through the rights, then we meet up on the other side. We organize. Each new moon at dusk, we join together at the Spiral Sanctum, the burned-down remains of the old capital of the Commonwealth. The remains stand as a warning to those who would seek to spread forbidden knowledge. We need as many of us there as possible. My agents on the other side shall explain the rest. You're plotting a revolt. Just so. I am asking a lot. You do have other options. Deceit, however, is not one of them. The reader and myself, you know by now we can see through it. But you need not be a part of this, nor is it in my interest to coerce you. You may go your own way if you wish. Live out your remaining days here, like so many others. So if anyone among you prefers that, if you cannot see yourself continuing to strive together in the Commonwealth as you are doing here, then speak now. Volfred pauses for a time, examining each member of the group. No one stirs. Very good. Some of you consider yourselves friends, some others not. But all of you are bound together through the rights and are integral to our plan. Remember that. You seek true freedom, you will not find it waiting for you in the Commonwealth. But together you could bring it about, both for yourselves and others. That is my promise. Then he lets out a long breath. That's it. I ask you all to think on this, and let's reconvene along our journey to the summit. Wolford turns toward the mountains, leaving you to consider what he said and plot the wagon's northward path. Mur Pass, the path that leads to Mount Aladiel. Beyond lies Mount Aladiel. I suggest we make camp here at the base of the mountain, for we shall need our spirits and our strength to make the ascent. There you are, my girl. There was something which I wanted to discuss with you in private. Wolford stares at you rather intently, as if reaching out to you, and then... You do know what it means to be a reader. Those such as we are not limited to reading pages from a book. Though your ability in this I sense is nascent still, mere flashes, uncontrollable. I see as well now that they haven't told you yet, your friends, and that explains a lot. They haven't told you readers such as you cannot go free. I had wondered why you would insist on pressing onward with this group in light of this. The answer then was plain. You simply did not know, or fully realize. They did not deceive you, by the way. There is no reason they would know themselves, other than Tariq, who shall not influence your thinking in such manners. Rather, I had expected, when at first we met, that you already knew the truth of this from having read the passage in the Book of Rites, which states it plain. Only those who shall conduct the rites firsthand shall walk the path toward enlightenment, and become eligible to regain their freedom. Perhaps you have not gotten to that part just yet. If you haven't read the book at all at that point, he tells you, I can tell you haven't been reading it at all. Wolford breaks free from you and looks at you again. Then he speaks to you as normal. It is plain to you that you are not in adequate condition to conduct the rites, and this group values you as reader. I wish only to ensure you understand what you are getting into here. Despite whatever hopes and dreams and promises might have been shared, I do not think the rites can help you to return, if that is what you had in mind. So, once again, I invite you to depart, and I will see to it that you are compensated. Do not misunderstand. If it is your wish to remain, then you are welcome. But this journey we are on, it has no guarantees. Not for you, nor any one of us. Do you understand? I understand. You understand the words of warning, yet just the same you choose to carry on. There is more that you wish to achieve on this journey than freedom for yourself. I admire that, my girl. Then very well. Know that we have much at stake here in this anyway. Much more than just a Sodic going back into that Commonwealth, which cast us down here to begin with. It sounds like you intend to stick around. Then we'll have lots more time to chat as we ascend the sacred mountain in the coming days. Until then. He strides out of the wagon then, leaving you with your thoughts. A visit from my favorite reader. What is the occasion? How very kind of you to visit me again like this, oh lovely reader. For I was just standing about in the blackness of this void, thinking it would be most pleasant if something were to happen for a change. There's a long period of time that this incarceration of mine failed utterly to do anything but bring me peace of mind. Not much of a punishment. I invite you to imagine upbringing among the Sisters of the Arch, an ancient band of killers trained almost from birth to carry out their missions without fail. All the sisters needed was a name and a sum of 500 sol up front. Living on the outskirts of civilization, your day is all full of training which would kill you or just cripple you for life. How do you suppose I lost my sight? Through glorious battle with the scribes, or in a careless sparring session with my master? But I've not forgotten enough just yet. In any case, at first I welcomed the prospect of not having to struggle every moment to survive. But in less than 2 centuries, why, I started to grow terribly bored. It did not help at all that the Nightwings of the early days were the stodgiest lot you could imagine, obsessed with obeying the book as strictly as they could. Some of them started to remind me myself, I think, when I was young. Such idiots, the lot of them. But what am I saying, lovely reader? I shall not bore you further with such matters. I would have bored myself to death back then, if only I could die. Like so many other things, I think mortality is something oft taken for granted, until it is taken away. So, given your mortality, what say that we get back to business here? You need not ask me, Tice. Simply verify which one of yours shall be the subject of my scrutiny. You asked Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Hedwyn. Oh, you must mean that nomad boy. So innocent, that one. I should have a lot of work to do with him. Then let us bring him forth. Soon Hedwyn appears and he does the summons. Hey, my friend, what's going on? The apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, boy, you answer to me here. Understood. You are a fool. Do not talk back to me. Your reliance on your friends is such a burden upon them. Let us see what you can do without their aid, save for that of your lovely reader there. Oh, each of them represents one of the starting members. Crap. Got it. Ouch. Okay. I need to stop letting that happen. Are you kidding me? Please stop. Okay, one more. We did it! It seems you did indeed, boy. Your performance was sufficient, and you passed my test. Thus, congratulations are in order to you and your lovely reader. Now, farewell. Good to be back after all that. Say, what's that you have there? To find their mark, Sandra and the Sisters of the Ark first had to circumvent his loyal man-at-arms. So this is what they took from Golithanian. If you remember, he was there when they tried to kill Solium. And They got that. That's his bracer. Let's give that to Hedwyn. Oh, do you have anything new to say that we're on a new map? No, okay. Ligeratus. Okay. Well, we are on our way to Mount Elodiel, which appears to be the last stop in our journey. That was pretty quick. Something else must be going on here. I hope to see you tomorrow as we find out what else is happening. Thank you for watching.